Mic check, mic check. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Goggin Ice Center for Miami's final D2 home game of 2024. Not returning to Goggin to play again until January of 2025. Tonight, Miami faces a matchup against Adrian College. Miami looking for a bounce back for home games after unable to complete the comeback a few weeks ago against Indiana. losing 5-4. However, the Red Hawks did go into the Hoosiers' own barn the very next day and blow the doors off with a 7-2 win. Starting in goal tonight for Miami, Jack Roach once again for the second home game in a row. And on the other side, starting in net, Alexander Herman. For the Bulldogs. Both teams getting set. Drew Douglas to take the opening faceoff. Flanked by Orlowski and Freiberger. And back on defense, Zaharansky and Cowan. Off the opening draw, Orlowski brings it in, but just barely offside is Freiberger. It's only 14 seconds into this game. Miami tries to get something started, but referees quickly blow it offside. Douglas to take the draw once again. Drew Douglas, very effective player in Miami's last home game. Collected by Adrian. Cook trying to advance it for the Bulldogs. Gets it across the line. Firing a shot there is Morris, and that was turned aside by Roach. First shot of the game. Freiberger up the right side, trying to advance it up ahead for Orlowski, but he's unable to make it there. Douglas ends up getting it in, but the Bulldogs take it up the other way. Bulldogs elect to dump and change. Lawrence with it now, starting to bring it up the other way. Miller, turnover to Desmadrill. And a race for the loose puck. Bell will get there first. Another turnover. Adrian puts it on. That stop by Roach. The rebound, another stop by Roach. Glove down by Lawrence. Lawrence up ahead for Hartwell. Hartwell airmails it out into the neutral zone. Adrian defense collects it, tries to advance it back forward, and nobody's home. And it is ruled no icing by the referees, as Bell will collect it below his net and try to advance it. Good pressure there by Jack Waldo for the Bulldogs, but Miami breaks it out anyways. And now they'll go for a partial change. Bulldogs with some space. They'll settle it down, look to break it out. Desmadrill gets a piece on it, but can't put it in as far as he wanted to, and now that's taken away and up the other way by Gray. Gray with a fancy move. Still can't get past Lawrence, and he turns it over to Luke Miller. Luke Miller up for Hartwell. Hartwell puts it in and chases after it. Luke Miller goes in after it as Hartwell goes off for a line change. Bounces off the body of Gangler and out of play. Big key for tonight. Miami going to want to take advantage here. Miami, an offensive advantage on the back end. No single defenseman through the 13 games played for the Bulldogs have more than 8 points. Gray leads the Bulldogs defense with 1 goal and 7 assists for 8 points, whereas Miami's defense is much better off offensively, although not by a whole lot numbers-wise. Cowan leads them in points with 9, according to the ACHA website. Off the face-off, Simeoni is forced to retreat all the way down into his zone, chase after the puck. Taken by McCauley, and the Redhawks will bring it up the other way. Gangler up ahead for Miller. Miller's got some room. Drags, fires, stop, and the rebound goes up and over. Alexander Herman. Gangler with it again. Drops it back to the defense. Luke Miller trying to find Simeoni, and it's knocked out of play by the Bulldogs. Just under 3 minutes gone in this first period. A good look there for Miami on that shift, but Alexander Herman stopping the dangerous chance from Miller. Miller, a good job going right up the middle. They call that the Royal Road, but shut down by Herman. Now taking the face-off, Daniel Gerling. Daniel Gerling, the 5'9" center, still looking for his first point on the season, as the Bulldogs will win that face-off. They rim it around the boards, collecting it there and trying to move it up the other way is Kruger. Stopped at the point by Cowan, and he puts it on net, and Herman will elect to hang on to that. Bit of a sharp angle shot there by Cowan. Again, the points leader for Miami defensemen. 3 goals and 6 assists on the season for 9 points. Gerling again to take the face-off. Gerling flanked by Schweitzer and Freiberger. Goes all the way down into Miami's end. The Bulldogs trying to apply some pressure. Good centering attempt made there by McGuire, but Kruger was facing the other way and couldn't get it down. Now a quick shot by Potts as he gloved it down, and that's turned aside by Roach. McGuire fighting for it in the corner, taken away by the Red Hawks as they start their breakout. Gerling has it out in the middle. Schweitzer trying to chase after it, but Cook gets there first. Adrian resetting. And Cook will sweep that into the Miami zone, albeit briefly. Freiberger and Gerling body up their man. Battle for the puck ensues on the right side boards in the neutral zone. Freiberger digging at it. Gets down to Cowan. Cowan trying to feed Schweitzer, but he miscued on that and ended up skating through it. Adrian again looking to reload. Gets up to Cook, but it bounces off his own foot and down to Bell. Bell up ahead for Lawrence. Lawrence feeding a streaking Hartwell, but it bounces off his skate as well. Now back up the other way for the Bulldogs. Collected by Cook. Cook up the right side, tries to get a shot on net. That's blocked by Bell. Eric Miller up around the boards to McCormick, the leading goal scorer for the Red Hawks, as he makes a big loop out into the neutral zone. Collected briefly by Hartwell and then taken back by the Bulldogs. Morris whiffs on the dump attempt, tries to get another shot away, another block by Bell. Miller trying to feed Hartwell. As it gets past him, he beats the icing, but then the goalie beats him. And now 3-on-1 developing here for the Bulldogs. Across, good! Blocked there by McCauley. Set up on a tee for Baldrica, and a very good play there by McCauley to block it with his stick. Couldn't get the shot away. McCauley trying to get it back out to the point, but that's touched up on the way out by Waldo, and it goes to length for icing. Pretty active set of plays there as we go another 2+ minutes without a whistle, with 14:41 to go here in period number 1. Some good opportunities both ways. Great play by McCauley to disrupt and ruin a 3-on-1 odd man rush in favor of the Bulldogs. Quick shot made there by Simeoni off the face-off, goes wide. And now taken up the other way. Desmadrill with it. Good interruption by McCauley to not only take it away, but forced a late offsides. Now Gangler up the other way. McCauley having a really good start to this game. Gangler fighting his opposite number in Garrett Friel. But the Bulldogs do get it up out of the zone. Simeoni stands up his man. Waldo gets there, though. McCauley trying to fend him away as Desmadrill absorbs a hit from Miller. And now Berlando trying to take it up the other way. Taken by Vijuk. Vijuk now trying to get the shot away, blocked by Simeoni. Desmadrill chases it down, tries to center. Good stick there by Roach to turn it aside. Gets down, intercepted by Berlando all the way up ahead for Gangler. Just past him, and he can't beat out his man to it. And now Clark up the other way for the Bulldogs. Good reach around play there by Kelly to knock it back out into neutral ice. And Kelly again whacking at that puck, and it looks like that's offside for Adrian College. 13:29 to go here in period number 1, still scoreless. Good opportunities both ways, but some good defensive play by Miami in their own zone has prevented more dangerous opportunities from getting on Roach. Jack Roach has been answering the call since normal starting goaltender Aiden Cron has been injured for a while. Roach now the very good resume himself this season. 7 games played, 5-1-1, 2.81 GAA, 927 save percentage. Very impressive work by Roach as he's standing in for Cron. That might be his crease now based on how he's been playing. Now up the other way is Miami. Freiberger all the way across, firing a shot was Bell, and that was stopped by Herman. Up the other way, Kelly unable to hold the line, so he'll retreat out into neutral ice. Leave it off for Freiberger, who puts it back into the attacking zone. Freiberger trying to get it on net, unable to do so as it's taken away by Kruger. Kruger stops, curls briefly, and it's laid up on ahead for Tucker. Tucker trying to make some room and cut into the middle, but fended off there by Cowan. Bulldogs still on the attack, though, but getting there first is McCormick and able to bounce it off some bodies into neutral ice. Eric Miller bounced off the skate of Hartwell, trying to deflect it there for McCormick, but unable to do so. Now Tucker again, puts it on net, goes wide. May have gotten a piece of that, was Roach. At the point for Potts. Potts puts it into the unoccupied opposite corner as Kelly throws it up for Hartwell. And now Miami on the attack. Bell coming up on the attack. Good poke check there. Almost a breakaway opportunity for Willie McGuire. But good stick work by the Miami defense again to foil an opportunity. Miami playing with fire a little bit. Able to cover up their mistakes pretty quickly, but it only takes one. Back at the point, held in by Morris. Bell battling for it against Baldrica. And now he's supported by Marsink. Up the other way, Eric Miller tries to bounce it off the boards. Good shot there by Potts, but that was turned aside by Roach. Now up the other way, McCormick. McCormick, the leading goal scorer for the Red Hawks. 11 goals, 19 points in his 13 games so far. All the way down, and an icing is called against the Bulldogs. 10:57 to go, almost at the halfway mark of this period. Back and forth hockey. Both teams still feeling one another out, trying to enact their game plans. Miami took a bit of a step back there offensively in that last shift. Now Berlando, Gangler, and Luke Miller out there to try to rectify that. Face off won by the Red Hawks. Back at the point for Simiani. Tries to take a shot. Good block there by Vijuk. And manages to stay on side briefly, but then it was put out in the neutral ice. Simiani dumped it back in. Miami touched up and now is back on the attack. Berlando trying to get there, but the Bulldogs captain, Sean Potts, manages to get it back out in the neutral ice. Thrown in by McCauley. Herman unable to glove it. Potts again, interrupted by Miller. Miller out for Gangler. Gangler scores! Brooks Gangler just before the halfway mark of period number 1, and Miami's on the board first. Very good set play there by the Red Hawks. Dumped in there by McCauley. Potts was there initially, but Berlando got down there in time, chased him down, deflected it off his stick, got it to Miller, and Gangler was wide open in that high slot area, and he was able to just walk in and put one low glove. 1-0, Red Hawks. Off the face-off, it gets thrown out into the score box, and they'll throw a new puck right back out to him. Still not quite at the halfway mark of period number 1, 10-10. Gerling to take this face-off. Goes through the legs of Drew Douglas. And now collected by the Bulldogs. Vijuk now. Vijuk crosses the red line, puts it in. Deflected into the corner by Roach. Douglas takes it away. Douglas, lead pass for Schweitzer. Schweitzer bodied up. Vijuk trying to chase after it now. Vijuk with it, trying to feed a centering pass. Good deflection there by Cowan. Laid on up ahead for Schweitzer, but it deflected off his stick. He couldn't quite collect it. Now back up to Vijuk once again. Vijuk crosses that red line. Puts it on Roach, and an approaching Obricki means that Roach has to hold on. .9:31 to go in period number 1. Still 1-0 in favor of Miami by way of Brooks Gangler. Gangler's 5th goal and his 11th point of the season, and only his 13th game played. And Miami continues to show off their depth. Eric Miller trying to chop that out of the zone. Couldn't get a stick on it, though. Held in. Good opportunity there by Waldo. And the rebound for Obricki. Good stop there by Roach. Or excuse me, that was Walney. Andrew Walney, a good opportunity. Couldn't hold on to the puck, though. Put back into Miami's zone. No icing. Bell up ahead for McCormick. Gets back down to Bell. Back again to McCormick. McCormick puts it across for Lawrence, and Lawrence will bring it up out himself. Lawrence across from McCormick again. McCormick up the right side, dragging and firing. Good block there by the defenseman Ryan Hutchison. Up the other way and offside are the Bulldogs. Just one little extra step there at the line by Walney, trying to get around his man. Griffin Clark couldn't read that. And Miami on the receiving end of a good offside call. Played by Roach off the face-off as it goes all the way down into Miami's territory. Drew Lawrence up ahead for Gangler, the goal scorer, and Luke Miller. Miller fires a shot, blocker save on the high side by Herman. Put back into Red Hawks territory by the Bulldogs. Centering pass attempt. The only one there, though, is Bell. Trying to clear it. Held in at the line just barely by McGuire. Looped around the boards. Kruger tries to chase it down. Collected by Potts at the blue line. Bell skewers it out into neutral ice, thanks to the help of Gangler, but that's taken away again by McGuire. McGuire, supported by Tucker. Tucker drags and fires. Doesn't get everything on it, and Roach just sticks that aside effortlessly. Now a battle down in the boards. Berlando trying to get a stick on it, trying to get it out of there. Gangler and Lawrence both just outside of the fur ball. Two players on each team in the thick of it, and Gangler will pickpocket that fur ball and get it out into neutral ice. Gangler using his frame to shrug off his men. Sharp angle shot, stopped by Herman. The rebound goes out. Miller, a shot, that stopped the rebound. Another rebound, and that's covered by Herman. Good flurry right there. Sharp angle shot by Gangler. Got right onto the stick off the save of Luke Miller. Another great save made by Herman. And then there to pick up that rebound was Berlando. Herman able to stop that, though, and keep this a 1-0 game. Good work by Herman so far. McCauley won the face-off, trying to get it to Freiberger, but he could not complete the one-timer. Up the other way for the Bulldogs. Glove down by McCauley. McCauley with some room. Loses it, gets it back to Douglas. Back for McCauley, and that's stopped and held. Once again by Herman. McCauley and Douglas may have had that one drawn up. McCauley was streaking, lost it back to Douglas. Douglas seemed to intentionally put it off the back wall and bank it back for McCauley, but that was stopped by Herman. Douglas off the faceoff, wins it back to Simeoni. Simeoni puts it on net, stopped by Herman. The rebound is loose. Backhanded on net, another stop by Herman, and Freiberger trying to streak in, but interrupted by the sticks of the Bulldogs. Thrown down the length of the ice, not going to have enough legs to be an icing against the Bulldogs, and they collect it. Good chase down, gets it all the way out to the point, but a great defensive stick there by the Red Hawks to put it all the way back into Bulldog territory. Freiberger trying to chase it down. Taken up the other way by the Bulldogs, intercepted by Miller. Eric Miller drags, fires, glove, save by Herman. The rebound goes around the zone, taken away by the Bulldogs, 3-on-2. Bulldogs bring it into the zone, drags off for Cook, fires! Good save by Roach. Waldo back to the point. Blocked shot attempt there made by Hutchison as Miami goes back on the attack. Simeoni throws it in and retreats for a line change. Redhawks top line after it. Bulldogs trying to settle it. Still in their zone, though. McCormick gets there first. McCormick absorbs a hit, though, from Hutchison, and Hutchison will collect it. Loops up the boards to Waldo, and an attempted chip off the side by Cowan goes out of play. 5:50 to go here in period number 1. Good opportunities on both sides since the Gangler goal, including another one by Gangler himself. But we are still at 1-0 in favor of the Redhawks. Hartwell to take the face-off. Still the top line out there for Miami. Zaharansky and Cowan on the back end. Hartwell, a key contributor to this team for Miami. So far in the season, only 8 points in 13 games, but he shows his skills in other ways, not just on the score sheet as he takes his man down. Miami's still holding some pressure. They don't have possession of the puck, and yet they're still holding it in the attacking zone. Vijuk was able to break it out, but good play by Zaharansky to take it back. Turn it back over to Vijuk. Good defensive play there by Zaharansky. He's got to watch those hands, though, as Vijuk puts it on net. The rebound behind Roach, spits back out through his pads as he was trying to go down. And now a delayed penalty coming to the Bulldogs as McCormick with a bit of a reverse hit there. And that's touched up. McCormick got knocked down on his reverse hit, but it looks like Hildebrand, who laid the hit, is on it's the one who comes out of that worse for wear. Stood his man up. Reminder that McCormick is not a very big guy. He's only 5'8". Hildebrand, not a small guy, but Vijuk is going to be going to the box. Not entirely sure what for. But with 5:11 to go, Miami gets their first look at a power play. First line was already out there, so the second unit of Gangler, Douglas, and Berlando, as well as McCauley and Cowan, will go out first. Gangler driven into the boards off the face-off. Battle for the puck ensues. Douglas gets it. Douglas skirts along the goal line, goes below the net. All the way back at the point for Cowan. Cowan tries to put it on net, interrupted by the stick of Clark. Goes all the way down the length of the ice, stopped by Roach. And Cowan will backhand it to alleviate pressure. Out into neutral ice, bounced off the skate of Douglas, and back to Berlando. Berlando up ahead for McCauley. McCauley up the right side on the attack, drops it off at the point for Cowan. Cowan across for Berlando. Berlando looks for the shot, nothing there. Back for Cowan, and across for Gangler. Gangler all the way across for McCauley, too hot to handle though. Back at the point again for Cowan. Again for Gangler. Gangler's got room, puts it and fires, and that bounced off a body and stayed out. McCauley back again to Cowan. Cowan tries to put it through traffic. That ends up hitting Berlando, and he's stung by that a little bit. Berlando laboring, favoring his left leg as he gets off the ice. Looks like he'll be all right, but caught a stinger there as it's taken up the other way by McCormick, now on for the first unit. McCormick fires a shot there, and that goes just wide. Bell trying to reload the Redhawks quickly, bounced off the stick of Eric Miller and back into the attacking zone. Cleared once again by the Bulldogs. Bell has it, leaves it off for McCormick. McCormick across the red line for Luke Miller. McCormick gets there first on the dump in. Eric Miller helping him out. Gets back at the point for Hartwell. Hartwell back at the point to Bell. Hartwell again. Bell again. Turns, fires! Redirect there in front, but that goes wide. McCormick down for Hartwell. 2 seconds, one, and that'll do it for the power play, but Miami still has possession. Trying to take a shot there by McCormick. Good block made there by McGuire, and it's covered up by Herman. So a good-looking power play overall for Miami. Got quite a few opportunities there. Some nice looks, but good defense and good penalty kill by the Bulldogs to keep this a 1-0 game. .304 to go in period number 1. Gerling on the face-off. Won by the Bulldogs, but Miami collects it and touches up after they dump it back in offside. Bulldogs trying to break it out. Good interruption there by Gerling, forcing them to reset and try again. Up through the middle, trying to get on the attack there is Baldrika. And put in deep into Miami zone. JT Kelly first to arrive. Taken away by Morrow. Firing a shot on net, or Morris, excuse me. That was stopped by Roach. Orlowski collects it, trying to feed Schweitzer. And that'll go down the length of the ice, but no icing as Hutchison was close enough to get it, just didn't. Collected at the blue line by Cook. Cook reverses, looks over his options. Up for Morris. Morris up the middle. Morris with some room. Morris fires a stop by Roach. Good save by Jack Roach. Miami trying to clear it. Schweitzer loses his footing. Taken again. This time by Cook. Back to the point for Baldrika trying to fire a shot. That missed the net. Cook again with it. Leaves it off for Morris. Centering pass attempt. Nobody's home though, and that's taken away by Lawrence. Bounced off the wall into the neutral zone. Gerling, long-range shot on net, turned aside by Herman, chases down his own rebound. Taken now by O'Connell. Taken back by Miami, shot on off the post, rebound, another post! 2 posts back-to-back, are you kidding me? Eric Miller fires it off the far post, collected off the rebound by McCormick, and he hit the same post. Back at the point for Zaharansky, one-timer, another post! That one looked like it glazed off the outside of the net. Out into neutral ice, taken away, and then thrown out into Miami territory. Put up on a head by Marsink for Eric Miller. Back for Hartwell. Hartwell up the right side, puts it on net, bounces off the outside of the net. Marsink, good hold. Marsink is being fought, though, by Kruger, and it gets all the way back for McCormick. Final minute of the first period, McCormick brings it in on his own. McCormick outnumbered, still holds on to it though. Brings it into the corner. Back at the point for Zaharansky. Drags, fires, scores! Looks like that one may have been tipped by Hartwell. As he clears the hug first, it looks like that's going to be Hartwell's goal. Great play by McCormick, who should pick up an assist on this goal. McCormick had it at the blue line, drove the zone on his own, brought it into the right side corner, turned and fed directly out in the direct middle of the point, Zaharansky. And as we were talking about Hartwell, what he brings to this team, he was in front of the net for a deflection off that Zaharansky shot, and Herman had no chance. 2-0 Redhawks. Taken by Burlando. Into the attacking zone. Desmadrill. A downward pass. Gets up to Vijuk now. Vijuk brings it into the attacking zone. Desmadrill chases it down. Back at the point. Benda trying to hold on. Benda tries to put a shot on net. That bounced off a body. And goes down the length of the ice via way of Miami, but getting there first was Luke Miller. Miller overskates the puck, though, and that's held on by Benda. So that'll do it for period number 1. Back and forth action, but Miami getting the better of their opponents so far. When we come back for period number 2, Miami, Redhawks lead 2-0 from the Goggin Ice Center. We'll see you shortly. teams taking the ice once again as we get prepared for the start of period number 2. Entering period 2, Miami holding on to a 2-0 lead. Goal scored 9:35 into period number 1. Brooks Gangler broke the ice to make it 1-0. And then in the final minute of period number 2, with only 43 seconds to go, Hartwell made it a 2-0 game with a beautiful tip off a Macaulay shot. Excuse me, a Zaharansky shot. As we get prepped for the start of this period. Adrian ready to go. They have their top line out. Miami still going over their game plan. As the Douglas line with Zaharansky and Cowan at D come back out as they started period 1. Douglas on the face-off. He'll win that. Chased after by Cook, but getting there first will be Zaharansky. Back and forth passing by Miami, out into neutral ice. Crossing through the M is Cowan. Cowan taken into the wall by Hildebrand. Freiberger gets it, tries to dance around his man, but it's taken away. Lobbed out into neutral ice. Race for the puck. Zaharansky will get there first, absorbing a hit from Cook, but Cook gains possession. Drew Douglas in there to help Zaharansky. Gets it back into Red Hawks' possession. Zaharansky will turn in reverse, still shadowed by Cook. As Cowan gets it onto the stick of Freiberger. Freiberger still retreating, getting ready to start again. And taken back once again by the Bulldogs. Baldrika stopping at the blue line and dumping it in as Desmadreau was offside. Cowan across for Zaharansky below the net. Up for Orlowski. Orlowski advancing it to Douglas. Douglas turning and throwing it in deep so that they can get off for a change. Desmadrill. Puck passes him by. Vijuk takes it up behind him. Leaves it off for Waldo. Waldo trying to put one on net. Good block there by Lawrence. Back for Vijuk, trying to center it. Just barely getting a piece of that was Lawrence to interrupt that. Now up the right side, Hartwell. Hartwell across. Miller fires a shot that's stopped and gloved ahead by Herman. Minute and a half exactly passed in this period. Good opportunities for Miami. Again, good setup by the Bulldogs, but just as it seems like they're going to get a good, dangerous opportunity, Miami barely able to disrupt it. And so the Bulldogs still empty-handed. On the face-off, Obricki and Hartwell. Obricki wins the face-off for the Bulldogs, and they get it out into neutral ice. Race for the puck. Bell trying to get there in time. Clark below the net. Miami manages to regain possession. Again, not by much. This is a game of inches, and the inches are going in Miami's favor so far. Hartwell up the right side. Hartwell tries to drag it into the middle, tried to get a shot away, blocked by Friel. Now Friel collects the loose rebound. Bell holds it in and pinches down. Helped by McCormick at the back end. Off a glove, delayed hand pass for the Bulldogs, but Miami touches first. Quickly slapped back in, sticked aside by Herman. As Hartwell will go off, and looks like we got a penalty coming to Miami. That's going to be a tripping call. Penalties going to McCormick. He's very confused. But his man behind him fell down, so with 17:36 to go in the second, Miami on the PK. Morris, quick drive, stopped by Roach. Morris had all the time in the world. He used that time expertly. Wyatt tried to go 5-hole, but that was swallowed up by Morris. Very good work. Back to Morris again. Across for Baldrica, playing point man. Cook, back to Baldrica. Back again to Cook. Cook toes that line. Cross for Morris. Retreats back to the point again. Baldrica, back for Morris. Loads up a one-timer. Good block there by Gerling. Gerling gets to the puck first. Manages to clear it down the length of the ice. Played by Herman. Vijuk gets there. And back up the other way. Here comes the Bulldogs, but Cook mishandles that, and it gets back out into neutral ice, so they got to touch up again. Morris up the middle. Vijuk looking for Desmadrill. He can't collect it. Cook now. Expertly handling the puck there. Fighting off multiple Miami attempts to get the puck off his stick. Got it back to the point, and finally getting a stick on it was Eric Miller, as that's deflected off the stick of Baldrica and out of play. Just over the first minute of this penalty kill passing by for Miami. And now the second unit out for the Bulldogs. So we've got Desmadrill, Clark, and Waldo. Well, not Desmadrill anymore as he's exiting the ice, and McGuire will go out and take his place. So Clark on the left, Waldo on the right, and then taking up defenses, Gray and the Captain Potts. Simeone and McCauley playing defense with Douglas and Eric Miller for Miami's penalty kill. Collected by the Bulldogs. Again, they're looking for a chance. Clark across the point for Potts. Potts down for Waldo. Waldo leaves it off for Potts again. Firing a shot saved by Roach. The rebound knocked away by McCauley. Back at the point, collected by Waldo. Penalty time expired. Miami back to full strength. McCormick's got to go back. And do we have another penalty? Yes, we do. So, just 5 seconds after killing off their penalty, Miami goes right back to the box. This has been a problem of theirs, staying out of the box. Simeone's going to go for high sticking. And right back on the power play. Back out there is the first unit for the Bulldogs. Down below the net, briefly losing it and recollecting it is Cook. Cook along the left side. Shadowed by Cowan. Cowan able to get that out of the zone as Morris can't hold on. Deflected off a Gerling stick. Cook for Vijuk. Vijuk shadowed by Gerling. Now Vijuk bringing it up the ice. Vijuk trying to make some space for himself, drops it off for Cook. Cook back at the point for Baldrica. Cook loses it, and up the other way for Miami. We might have a breakaway. Here we do. It's Burlando. Burlando moving in, fires. Oh, and just narrowly stopping it was Herman. And a penalty call coming to Adrian. Miami bench wants a penalty shot, as Burlando was clear on the breakaway, but nothing going. But at the very least, Miami will even this up and have a brief power play afterwards. So 14:41 to go. Morris will go to the box for slashing. despite getting slashed on the hand. Good shot attempt by Berlando, and just barely getting a piece of that was Herman. Bulldogs bring it up the other way anyways. Walney retreats, curls back at the red line. Walney still with it, brings it in on the attack, goes over the net, just over the helmet of Roach. Thrown back in by Potts. 45 seconds to go in the Simeoni penalty, still about a minute and a half for the Morris penalty. Bell bodied up, unable to get there. Cowan all the way back down in his zone. McCormick dancing around McGuire, made it look easy. Lead pass for Hartwell. Hartwell stops at the top of the circle, trying to find Cowan. Wasn't quite able to get there in time, so McGuire will take that away. Final 10 seconds of the Miami penalty, so they'll have about 50 seconds of power play time as a quick shot made there goes wide of Roach. And Simeoni's out, and then that's put out of play by the Bulldogs. So Miami gets away with a favorable face-off. Puck that was in their zone now come all the way out to neutral ice as it was taken out of play by the Bulldogs. Now 46-second power play for the Redhawks. Luke Miller trying to get up ahead for Berlando, gets past him though. Gangler tries to chase it down, as does Berlando, but that's thrown all the way out and down the length of the ice by O'Bricky. McCauley up on ahead for Luke Miller. Miller with speed. Loses it from Gray, drops it off for Gangler. Gangler trying to get a shot away. That's stopped by Herman. Back for Miller again. Back at the point for McCauley. One-timer! Good block there. Back at the point for McCauley. Across for Zaharansky. Back for McCauley again. Drags, trying to find Gangler. And that's taken away and thrown back out by Clark. Played by Roach. 3 seconds to go in the penalty. So that'll be yet another penalty killed. Despite multiple penalties on each side, still no power play goals. Or special teams goals at all. Both goals coming on 5-on-5. Play continues now. Kruger gets it out into neutral ice. Gangler standing in for defense as McCauley was still up in the play. Now Gangler brings it around the back of his own net, but he loses it at the point for Vichuk. Taken back away by the Redhawks. Good play by McCauley. Douglas firing a sharp angle shot. That's stopped by Herman. The rebound is loose. McCauley trying to get there. And taken away and stopped as Desmadrill goes after McCauley, and McCauley will answer right back. You know, I can understand the desire to defend your goaltender, but McCauley was perfectly within his right to go after that puck. It was gloved by Herman, and then it's dropped down, and it was still loose for a good period of time there. He was just trying to collect it. So now McCauley and Desmadrill are both going to the box, and looks like we'll have 4-on-4 hockey. Miami a little confused why the play is coming out into neutral ice, as it was covered by the Adrian goalie, but that's what we have. We got a 4-on-4 here with 12:01 to go in period 2. Puck out in neutral ice. Hartwell trying to chase it down. Adrian getting there first. Morris, lead pass up ahead to Baldrica. Baldrica up the right side. Trying to get out into the middle. Good stick there by Bell. Knocking it away. Baldrica trying to circle back in. Lead pass brought in again by the Bulldogs, and again interrupted. Good stick of Bell. Absorbing a hit there was McCormick as he gets it back out into neutral ice. Once again, the Bulldogs try to find an entry path. They'll get it, but again, collected by the Miami defense. Held in at the line by Potts. Across for Baldrika. Baldrika for Morris, looking for the one-timer. Good play by Cowan to interrupt that. Down deep in Miami territory, Baldrika. Halfway done on the 4-on-4. Held in by Hildebrand. Down for McGuire. McGuire dancing along the wall. McGuire turns back up the other way. Back at the point. Cross for Hildebrand. Hildebrand, one-timer, sharp angle by Tucker. Good save by Roach. Jack Roach up to the task on every opportunity he's had to face so far. As we still have 45 seconds to go on this 4-on-4. And it looks like the Bulldogs are making better use of this open ice. So this 4-on-4 will end at exactly the halfway mark of period number 2 and regulation time at that. Miller fakes the pickup as it gets to Lawrence instead. Simiani, cross for Lawrence below the net. Lawrence stops up, gives it back to Simiani, and lets him take it up. Simiani crosses that red line, puts it in deep. Berlando gets there first. Berlando takes a hit from Potts, keeps going. Miller and Berlando both battling for the puck. Berlando gets it all the way out to the point for Simiani. Simiani holds the line across for Lawrence. Lawrence has nothing, so he has to throw it back down and rim it around the boards. Simiani pinches in deep, battling for the puck. No one's taking his place, though. We almost had an odd man rush in favor of the Bulldogs, but Lawrence was able to get there first. Across for Berlando. Berlando firing a shot, and that's swallowed up by the glove of Herman. Both teams back to full strength. McCauley and Desmadrill both return to their benches. Marsink and Kelly back on defense. Berlando, Gangler, and Miller out on offense. Berlando to take the draw against Obricki. Berlando wins it, back for Gangler. Gangler back to the point. Kelly drags, fires, tipped in front by Berlando, but that's still stopped by Herman. Back for Luke Miller. Miller has it stolen away. Good stick work there by Hildebrand to get it. Lead pass for Gangler. Gangler puts it back in. Taken by Gray. Gray lost it there as Miller was able to have it deflect off his shin and back into offensive territory for the Redhawks. Bit of chaotic play so far in this period. Both teams struggling to get anything going. A lot of sloppy neutral zone plays and bounces not going in either team's way. As a 3-on-2 for Miami. Marsink fires a shot, sticked aside by Herman, and up the other way for Adrian. Walney up the left side. Shouted by Orlowski. Walney tried to reverse as he lost the puck and lost his footing. Douglas up the other way now. Douglas on the attack. Tried to throw it on net, interrupted by the stick of Hildebrand. And now down Orlowski, avoiding his man, taking a stick to the back though, but no whistle. Centering pass attempt made there by Douglas, as Freiberger couldn't get it. Back into the boards. Douglas ignoring Desmadrill's attempt to hit him and continuing to advance forward on the puck, but taken back up the other way by the Bulldogs. Waldo. Drop for Vijuk. Vijuk faking the shot, trying to center it out in front. Deflected away by Kelly. Held in at the line, though, by O'Connell. Kelly with it now. Kelly making a move. Deflected down by Vijuk, but still stays in friendly hands momentarily as the Bulldogs recollect it in neutral ice. Throwing it all the way in. Collecting it is Roach. And then he backhands it, trying to feed Kelly. Puck's taken away again. Orlowski crossing the red line. Orlowski gets around his man. He fires just wide. Great move by Orlowski. Cowan at the point. Back down for Freiberger. Back for Cowan. Cowan loses the remainder of his space, but he manages to backhand it in to prevent an odd man rush. Miami touches up on the offside. Hartwell trying to chase after it, but taken up the other way by Waldo. Waldo a lead pass. Looking there for Cook. Cook gets there. Fast skater, Cook. But Eric Miller gets there and up for McCormick. McCormick, fast skater in his own right. Loses possession of the puck, and Baldrica will take it away. But Miami's still on the attack. Hartwell trying to get it on net, but it bounces off the back of his stick. Breakout here for the Bulldogs as they narrowly avoid a delayed offside, but Miami will collect it and bring it back on the attack for themselves. Hartwell across for Eric Miller, dragging and firing, and that's swallowed up and held by Herman. 6:38 to go in period number 2. Still a 2-0 lead in favor of the Red Hawks. As I mentioned earlier, some back and forth hockey. Very disjointed. But Miami still holding on to their 2-0 lead. That top line stays out there with Bell and Lawrence on D. Face off one by Hartwell. Quick shot by Miller. That goes wide of the net. It was a bobbling puck. Couldn't settle it in time. Bell across for Hartwell. He couldn't get the one-timer. Thrown back in deep by Lawrence. McCormick chases it down. McCormick along the wall. Leads it back for Bell. Bell losing his footing as he tried to fire that shot, so that was interrupted by the Bulldogs, and now Baldrica takes it up the other way. Baldrica crossed that line. He was trying to feed Morris, but good interruption there by Bell to prevent that, what would have been a short breakaway. Cook trying to throw it in. Another block by Bell. Very active skates by Tyler Bell. A lot of blocks today. Drop pass by Freiberger. Back to Freiberger, trying to tuck it home. Great save by Herman. Herman going full spread eagle to stop what was a very good play by this Miami line. Freiberger back on the attack. Big hit there by Gerling. Held in at the point by Lawrence, trying to put it on net, taken away. And we got a penalty coming. Gerling and McGuire were both down, and it looks like McGuire will be the one heading to the box, though. So with 5:34 to go in period number 2. Miami will get another crack at their first unit. As I mentioned earlier, no special teams goals so far. Everything's come 5-on-5. Top unit of the Red Hawks will look to change that. Both Millers. Centered by Hartwell with Bell and McCormick, as usual, at the point. Collected by Adrian. No pressure, so they hold on to it a little bit before throwing it down the length. Bell back out into neutral ice, taken by O'Bricky instead. But Eric Miller bodies him up and drops it off for Luke Miller. Miller on the attack, leaves it off for McCormick. McCormick drags and fires! What a dangerous shot and a great save. McCormick gets cross-checked in the back there by Gray. Referee was looking at it the whole time, decides not to call something. But a very dangerous shot, placed perfectly low blocker as Herman was just available, just able to get a piece on that. I don't know if he got it with his blocker hand or his stick, but he was able to deflect it down and out of harm's way. Hartwell again at the faceoff. One back at the point to McCormick. McCormick across for Bell. Got to watch out for that dangerous shot of Bell. Back for McCormick. One-timer! And a windmill glove save by Herman. So 2 great shots by the leading goal scorer of the Red Hawks in this power play so far. Having a conversation with Luke Miller. Drawing up a game plan as Herman standing tall to keep this a 2-0 game. Luke Miller wins it back to McCormick. Cross for Bell. Bell fires a shot. That's stopped again by Herman. Miller back to Bell again. Across for McCormick. Back for Bell. Drags, fakes the shot. Cross for Luke Miller. Another save. The rebound goes wide. Andrew Herman still standing tall. Bell with some time, faking the slap shot, getting it back. Faking the slap shot again. Cross for McCormick. Out for Luke Miller, and he can't hold on. Manages to get it back into Bell's possession, though. Bell with a drive, and that's deflected off the pants of Walney. Back for Bell again, faking the slap shot. Across for Luke Miller, trying to feed Hartwell, deflected off a stick and down the length of the ice. Miami trying to take advantage of only one defenseman back. Here's McCauley on a break, fires, the rebound is loose! Good save by Herman! Wow, what a sequence! Adrian going for an ill-advised change. Remember, this is the second period, so both teams have a long change. Roach is very eager to play the puck, especially quarterbacking the power play back there, a la Martin Brodeur. There was only one player back. Referee blowing the whistle. I don't know if that's a warning or... Yeah, they're just going to get a warning. And Potts slashed the stick of Gangler once again. So that's warning number 2. I don't think he's getting a third. Face-off in the offensive zone, won by the Bulldogs. McCauley quickly to Cowan. 15 seconds left in this power play. Miami looking to squeeze a little bit of juice left out of this time of man advantage. McCauley. Stretch pass to Berlando. Drops off for Gangler. Gangler firing a shot. Good block by Hildebrand. Hildebrand trying to clear it back for McCauley, firing a shot. Good stop by Herman. And he'll cover it up. Alexander Herman stand up and take a bow. No questions there. Number 30, the star player of that penalty kill. McCauley frustrated as he gets multiple opportunities but can't bury any of them on that power play. Back to full strength there. Gerling gets excised from the center. Dotto Orlowski will take the draw instead. Won by the Bulldogs. That goes way over. All the way down the length for icing. And in a not often seen situation on this side of the Goggin Ice Center, on this ice surface, there is a suspended wall to drop in the air that can be put down to cut the ice in half. And that often prevents high clearing attempts as it bounces off the wall, and that's out of play. But the Adrian defenseman managed to get it over the wall and into about the 5 feet of space between the wall and the rafters, so it technically remained in play. Schweitzer fell down off the face-off. Delayed offside for Miami, so they have to retreat and recollect as the Bulldogs try to put on the attack. Cowan. Zaharansky trying to feed Gerling, but it bounces off his stick, and so it's thrown back in by Adrian. Zaharansky up for Schweitzer. Schweitzer crossing the blue line. Trying to get it out in front. Orlowski just barely late. Quick shot made there by Cowan. The rebound down for Gerling. He can't collect it. And that'll go down the length of the ice for another icing against Adrian. 2:35 to go in period number 2. Miami still with a 2-0 lead, but despite the numerous penalties being called, Adrian College starting to take some liberties with some shots from behind. A couple of cross checks here and there, looking like an NHL hockey game. Bunch of cross checks, but no penalty calls. Quickly won by the Red Hawks. Lawrence, short side, puts it back in deep for McCormick. Gets past McCormick and skewered out into neutral ice. JT Kelly getting there first. Potts cleaning up the remains, though, and Adrian will get possession once more. Cook up the middle. Taken away by Hartwell, though, and a penalty coming to Miami. A hooking call. Not sure who it's to. It might be Eric Miller. But just as I was saying, refs aren't calling penalties. They call one. So the final 2:10 of this period, all but 10 seconds of it, barring a goal or another penalty, will be spent on the kill for Miami. First unit back out for Adrian. Actually, that looks more like their second unit. Yeah, that is their second unit indeed. Miami's penalty killers get to work. Taken up ice by Douglas after he fishes it out of the zone. Refs want a slashing call by Potts against Douglas. He's whacked at his shins a couple of times, nothing going. Douglas killing time by swallowing it up in the offensive zone for Miami. And now the Bulldogs finally get it back on the attack. Desmadrill dragging and firing, but he forgot the puck. Waldo back at the point across for Potts. Potts also forgot the puck. And now Berlando with some space. Berlando, another breakaway. Berlando's in. He fires another amazing save by Herman. You have got to be kidding me. JT Kelly puts it back into the territory of the Bulldogs as Waldo brings it back on the attack. Waldo turning, dragging, back behind the net, trying to center it out in front. The puck is loose. Slap shot, good block there by Kelly. Effortlessly turning aside that slap shot attempt by Baldrika. Baldrika has it again. Another delayed penalty coming to Miami. Puck is loose. Lawrence fighting for it. Waldo gets it, holds on to possession though. Baldrika, 6-on-4. Out in front, bounced off the skate of Desmadrill, and Lawrence will finally touch up. And so as we thought, another penalty coming to Miami. It's Gerling going to the box. No idea what for. So for 28 seconds, Miami will have to try to kill off a 5-on-3. Can't think of much better men up to the task, though, but Bell, Cowan, and Douglas. As you might expect, Miami bench not happy about that call. 38 seconds. Our referee is explaining the head coach, Alex Delaney, the call. Interestingly enough, Delaney argued what is technically correct, but helped Miami. Lawrence whacked at it with his stick. It deflected off his stick. He didn't technically have possession, but they blew the whistle anyway. So while it helped Miami to get that whistle and end the 6-on-4, Delaney is still technically correct in arguing that. Maybe he wanted to kill more time off the clock. And an offside entry by Cook. 21 seconds to go in period number 2. 11 seconds to go in the Miller penalty. And a minute 43 to go in the Gerling penalty. Douglas versus Obricki at center dot. Face-off dot, excuse me. One back to Cook. Cook looks to enter the zone. He does. He's got some room. Elects not to shoot. Shadowed by Bell. Gets it back down. Back to 5-on-4. Deflecting off Douglas' skate. 5 seconds to go. Miller's got a brief breakaway. Miller, 2 seconds. 1, scores! 1 second left. 3-0. Short-handed breakaway goal. Eric Miller. Referees elect to say that there were 2 seconds left on the clock. It won't really matter as it's a center ice face-off, but Eric Miller, fresh out of the box, cleared just at the perfect time by Miami, and just with enough time on the breakaway, Eric Miller makes this a 3-0 game in the most unexpected of times right after killing a 5-on-3. So when we come back for period number 3, minute 22 to go on the Gerling penalty. Miami 3, Adrian 0. We'll be back for period number 3. are back live at the Goggin Ice Center in Oxford, Ohio for period number 3 of this ACHA D2 game between the Miami Redhawks and the Adrian College Bulldogs. Very thrilling end to period number 2, as with 1 second remaining on the clock, Eric Miller, who had just exited the box as Miami finished killing a 5-on-3 to make it 5-on-4, broke away and got the 3-0 goal. However, as I mentioned, it was a 5-on-3 to a 5-on-4. So to start this third period, Miami, Miami still has 1:24 to kill. And it looks like the men tasked to do so are Berlando, Douglas, Zaharansky, and Cowan. Berlando to take the draw. Won by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs throw it in as it loops around the boards. Cowan trying to clear it. Gets up ahead to Douglas. All the way up ahead, Berlando! A third breakaway of the night for Berlando. Berlando's in! Berlando! Backhand! What a stop there by Herman. Berlando has to be frustrated. 0 for 3 on breakaways. And it's really unfortunate. He's made good attempts on all of them, but Herman stonewalled him on each one. Back in the Miami zone, Zaharansky fighting for it against Clark. Clark tried to put it all the way up. Didn't quite make it there, so now Douglas up the other way. Douglas had it taken away, though, by Potts. And gloved down and brought in the other way by Waldo. Waldo decides to stop at the blue line. Not sure why, but he's the player. I just call the plays. Down for Zaharansky. Held at the line by Vijuk. And tried to clear it was Douglas, but the glove of Clark held it in, and they score! Well, that's comedic timing at its best. Just glancing over at the score clock to see how much time remained on the penalty kill, and a quick, sharp angle shot. Roach would want to have that one back, and now it's 3-1. So 18:48 to go in period number 3. Power play goal for Morris. And Roach probably wants to have that one back. First line back out for Miami now, since the penalty's been, well, haven't been killed, it's been erased. Bulldogs maintain possession, though. On the attack, it's Kruger. Kruger firing a shot. That's swallowed up and held on by Roach. So 1.5 minutes gone in period number 3. One thing is worth noting. Miami should really look to eliminate penalties as much as possible. That's been a weak spot of this otherwise extremely strong team to this point this season. Miami currently listed, the D2 team anyways, definitely not the D1 team, but the D2 team listed as 4th in the nation by the ACHA as of this past week. Almost got out in front for Tucker, but he was turning and couldn't quite get it. So now up the other way, McCormick. McCormick losing the puck there. Back out at the point for Bell. Bell could have collected it, but instead decided to jab his stick at it. Leave it off for McCormick once more. McCormick up the right side with speed. McCormick dragging and firing. Not sure where that puck deflected, but it ended back up on McCormick's stick and offside just barely by Bell. So again, Miami voted 4th in the nation in the ACHA D2, but penalty minutes a weak spot on the team is looking down here. Only 4 players, technically 5 players, on the entire team have no penalty minutes. And one of those players hasn't played a game yet, being Hamilton. And the others that don't have any penalty minutes are ones that aren't always in the lineup. including Tarasovic, who only has 3 games. JT Kelly with 9 has 0 penalty minutes, and Jack Schweitzer also with 9 has no penalty minutes. Everybody else has at least 2. Leading the team is Eric Miller with 26. However, he does not lead this game in penalty minutes. That's number 20 on the Bulldogs, Graham Turner with 29 in 4 games. Not sure what he did, but probably a major there. Backhand scores! O'Bricky, and it's a 1-goal game. Just a minute 28. A minute 28 after the 3-1 goal. It's 3-2. And what has been a good 40 minutes for Miami and Roach. Not looking so hot now, as their lead dwindles to just 1 goal. This has been another problem for Miami so far this season of letting in goals at inopportune times. You know, you look back to the last home game as it gets back out to Hartwell. Hartwell firing a shot that's wide. Pardon the interruption, if I may continue. It's up the other way. A 2-on-1 developing. I may not continue. Waldo had it taken away from his stick, and up the other way for Miami. McCormick holds on to it on the attack up the right side as he likes to bring it. Held in by Zaharansky, but that's taken away briefly before being recovered. Eric Miller spinning, trying to center for McCormick. McCormick had backed off, though. Zaharansky losing it before he can fire the shot. Recollects it. Dragging around. Centered out for McCormick. Dropped off for Miller. What a blocker save by Herman. Herman again playing heroics for this team. Very well may be the only reason this is a 1-goal game. Freiberger out in front of his own net. Took a couple whacks at it before collecting it. Out for Eric Miller. Up ahead for Freiberger. Freiberger with some room. Getting around his man. Couldn't make it past the stick. Still tied up by that stick. Nope. Penalty being called. But again, I'm not the ref. Just call the plays. Drew Douglas on the attack. Trying to center it for Orlowski. Couldn't get there. Douglas again back at the point for Bell. Bell loads up a shot. That bounced off Orlowski. Freiberger chips it back below the net. Bell. Put a sharp angle shot on net. Sticked aside by Herman. Still unable to clear it are the Bulldogs. Miami touched up, but there was no delayed offside, so sounds like they fell for the Bulldogs bench trying to imitate delayed offside calls by the ref, or them just arguing for it. In any case, a 3-on-2 developing the other way for the Bulldogs. Cook along the right side, drops off for Morris, back for Cook, and he couldn't get a handle on the puck. Bodied up along the net by Orlowski. Cook back in, trying to cut in, ran out of room, goes below the net. Turning and firing a shot, stopped by Roach, and he'll hold on. Lawrence quick to clear the front of his net. Anyways, with 14:54 to go and still a 3-2 game in favor of the Red Hawks, as I'd been saying, giving up goals at inopportune times has been a very weak point for Miami as well. You look back to the game a couple weeks ago against Indiana. They needed to mount a 4-goal comeback attempt because they allowed a goal in the final minute of period 2 and the first minute of period 3. Both fluky goals, and if you take them both off the clock, they win. But they're both goals nonetheless, and they count. They don't ask how, and it cost Miami a game. So now we have to hope that it doesn't cost them again. Simeone got the puck loose for Gangler, bounced off the skate of Berlando as he was trying to pass it up ahead for Luke Miller. Goes it in, delayed offside. Miller and Berlando touch up. Bulldogs bring it up the other way. Berlando interrupts that. Tried to take it back on the attack, overskated the puck, and had to drop it off for Simeone again. Simeone throws it in deep. Bulldogs get the puck. And not quite enough to go the distance. Simeone taken down by McGuire. No call on the play. Clark drops off for Kruger. Kruger trying to dance through men. Good block there by Miller. And it's taken up for Burlando. Now delayed penalty coming to the Bulldogs. And a high sticking call. So another power play opportunity for Miami as that penalty goes to Griffin Clark. 13:56 to go in period number 3. First unit out there for Miami. This would be a great opportunity to try to at least get closer to put this game away, but immediately off the face-off, it's cleared out into Miami territory by Adrian. Adrian has possession, but leaves it off, and McCormick takes it back. Obricky trying to apply pressure, joined by Waldo. But a stretch pass up for Miller. Stick tied up in Miller's glove, but he evades that. Back at the point for McCormick. McCormick moves in, tries to put it in front, and that goes through the blue paint. Back at the point for Miller, across for Bell. Bell patiently waiting, looking over his options as he gets it to McCormick. Back for Bell. Bell being covered pretty thoroughly, so he can't unleash that bomb of his. Now it's up the other way, but not quite enough for a break, so they clear it instead. McCormick again back. And around. McCormick drops it off for Bell, and he goes off for a change. McCauley goes on in his stead. Bell. Dump. Chase Hartwell on the half wall. Down for Eric. And back to Luke at the point. Luke Miller trying to move in. Doesn't see anything and can't get everything he wants on that pass, and it's cleared again. So now the second unit coming on for Miami in full. Cowan has it behind the net, and he starts to move it up. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Burlando. Burlando drops it off for Douglas. Douglas chases after it. Burlando out to the point for Gangler. Gangler looking over his options, leaves it for Cowan. Cowan, one-timer, he was loading up for one-timer, was McCauley out in front, glove save, and held on by Herman. McCauley was looking for a one-timer there, but it got into his skates. Wasn't precise. 11 seconds to go in this penalty. 12:06 to go in period number 3. So it'll be one last power play drive on this penalty for the Redhawks as Burlando lines up at the faceoff dot. Burlando wins it to his left to Douglas, but it bounces off the stick and goes down low. Failed clear as it's held in by Cowan. Cowan dancing the line, off for Gangler. Gangler fires a shot, blocked, and the rebound is cleared down the length of the ice. Kruger chasing it down, eliminates the icing as the penalty had ended. Kruger below the net, taken away by McCauley and Burlando. McGuire holds onto it, down for Kruger again. Kruger driving up the wall, curling around the circle, missed his pass. Up the other way, Douglas. Up to Gangler as Douglas makes a change. Gangler on the attack, trying to get a sharp angle shot away, and that deflects off the stick of Ryan Hutchison and out of play. So now the Gerling-Freiberger line, run by Jack Schweitzer, will come out here. With Simeoni and Lawrence on defense. Gerling for the faceoff. Back for Lawrence. Lawrence put it in the opposite corner. Schweitzer. Back for Simeoni. Able to hold the line. Oh, and trying to take a shot. Schweitzer's stick snaps right in half. And he drives his man into the wall. Great play, and the puck goes out of play. Good hustle there by Schweitzer. Driving his man into the half wall without a stick to prevent an odd man rush from developing. And that's exactly the kind of truculence you want to see out of your players if you're Alex Delaney. Trying to hold on, but not sit back defensively. You want to try to put this game away by putting another goal on the board instead of turtling and putting yourself in danger. Simeoni wins the faceoff in his own zone. Puts it down low for Lawrence. McCormick breaks it out. Across up the middle now is Hartwell. Hartwell loses it to Waldo, but a streaky McCormick interrupts that a little bit before Vijuk takes it back. Vijuk driving the play. Lawrence loses his stick, trying to prevent him from cutting in. Still in Vijak's skates as he's on the other side of the wall now. And now, fur ball for the puck. Thrown back deeper into his own zone by Hartwell. McCormick collects it at the goal line, leaving it for Lawrence. Lawrence up ahead for Miller on the breakout. Eric Miller tries to advance that forward into the O zone, and he does briefly, but Vijuk takes it back up the other way. Vijuk trying to get around Lawrence. Can't do that. And he's thrown into the wall. Big hit by Simeoni. That's going to be a penalty all day. And battle for the puck at the point, managing to barely hold on to it, was Hildebrand, and now that'll be it. And another ill-advised penalty. Simeoni really should have known better. This has potential to be a major. Vijuk shaken up as referees discuss it. In all likelihood, it will be a boarding, but Simeoni, a little lucky, gets away with 2 instead of 5, but that's still a penalty kill for Miami in a 1-goal game. Halfway point, just about here of the third period. Simeoni with a penalty. Miami's got to kill it. Simeoni in the box for boarding. Power play for the Bulldogs. Cook has it. Cook up the right side. Pass intercepted by Bell. Cook has it again. Cook goes back to the point. Goes it all the way down for Obricki. And Obricki is pinned to the boards by Bell. Bell taken down, still fighting for that puck. Cook still digging at it, as is Obricki. Bell was down. He was still fighting for it. And now it's taken away by Miami and cleared by Cowan. Herman out to play. Bell exchanges for McCauley as he seemed to be hurt, but in some discomfort. Berlando fighting for it in the offensive zone, and he manages to hold on to it. Briefly, Berlando, 1 against 5. Berlando joined now by Douglas and rimmed all the way around the boards, back into the center ice, trying to get it back into the defensive possession was Douglas, but getting their first out of Bulldogs. McGuire on the attack now. 45 seconds left in the penalty. The glove down by Clark. Collided with by Zaharansky. And looks like a hand pass being called against the Bulldogs. And now the puck will go back out in neutral ice. 41 seconds to go to the Simeoni penalty. 8:46 to go in regulation time. Eric Miller take the draw. Gerling on his right, Zaharansky on his left, McCauley down low. Face-off won by the Red Hawks. McCauley has it deep in his zone. He'll loop it all the way around the boards as that goes back out into the neutral territory. Stretch pass attempt for Clark. Misses its mark, and it's thrown all the way back in by Miller. Potts barely beating out Gerling to the puck. Gerling bodies up Potts. And now up the other way. The Bulldogs. Good drag play by Waldo, but can't get all the way around the body of Zaharansky. Potts on the half wall. Back at the point. Desmadrill back for Potts. No shot there. Back for Waldo. Across. Shot by Clark. Redirected in front. Goes wide, and that'll do it for the penalty. Miami's killed off another. Gangler trying to advance it forward a little bit. Up for Waldo. Waldo on the attack. Dragging and firing. Glove save and held by Roach. So another kill successful for the Red Hawks with 7:47 to go in regulation. Berlando, Luke Miller, and Gangler line out now. Bell and Lawrence taking up the defensive end. Face-off initially won by the Bulldogs, but quickly cleared out into neutral ice. And in Miami, possession by Gangler. Quick shot by Burlando. High blocker save made by Herman. McGuire on the attack now for the Bulldogs. Thrown away by Bell. Back for Gangler. Gangler out in the neutral territory again. Delayed high stick on Burlando, but taken again by the Bulldogs, so that's eliminated. Bell leaves it off for Burlando again. Burlando across for Gangler. Gangler loads up and fires just wide. Up the other way, McGuire once more. McGuire up the right side, trying to make a move. Gets it on net. Pad save made by Roach. Gangler out in neutral ice once more. Crosses that red line, gets it on the attack as, unfortunately, Gangler and Miller got tied up with one another, and that'll be the end of that offensive chance. McGuire drops it off for Clark for the Bulldogs. Clark below the net, tried to center it. Nobody was home, and it's taken away by Cowan. Gangler tried to pass it across for Burlando, but it bounces off the skate of Friel. It's Friel grabbing onto Douglas, and that's going to be a penalty all day, every day. You can't grab the jersey. And Miami, another power play opportunity as the big guns will head out once more. Top unit out there. Garrett Friel in the box. 2 minutes for holding. 6:28 left in regulation. Hartwell to take the draw. Won by the Bulldogs, but gets back to McCormick at the point. Shot on net quickly, and that bounced off a body, but didn't make it all the way on net. Held in at the line by McCormick just barely. McCormick again puts it on net softly. Stopped and held at the blue line by Bell. McCormick again. Again elects not to go full power on the shot. Back for Bell, across from McCormick. Back to Bell. Bell puts it on net. That bounced off the skate of Gray. Hartwell on the attack, overskates the puck, still holds on to it before it's turned over. McCormick holding the line, though. McCormick has to back it out into neutral ice. And McCormick up the other way once more. McCormick with some speed, trying to get it around his man, and that's cleared again. Cowan with it. Halfway through the power play. Still nothing going for Miami. And that's taken away. Morris up the other way. Over the shoulder of Roach, but not on net. Back for Morris trying to center it. Good play by Cowan to prevent that. McCormick very disappointed in either his play or the power play in general. 40 seconds left in the power play. Second unit on now. Cowan up ahead for Burlando. Burlando up the left side. Burlando will bring it around the net. Shadowed by Hildebrand. Goes around the top circle. Firing a shot! And that hit the stick of Herman. Back at the point for Cowan. Cowan drags and fires. Good block there by Baldrica. And that's cleared again by the Bulldogs. 15 seconds to go. Thrown all the way back out to Gangler by Roach at the blue line. Gangler on the attack. Dropping it off for Douglas. Douglas finessing his way through. Back at the point to Gangler. Cross to Cowan. That'll do it for the penalty. Gangler, sharp angle shot, glove save by Herman. 4:24 to go, another ineffective power play by Miami. Still 3-2 in favor of the Redhawks, though. Gerling, Freiberger, and Orlowski out there to give it another shot, with Simeoni and Lawrence on the defensive end of things. Face-off won by the Bulldogs, taken briefly by Orlowski before being recollected by defenseman Ryan Hutchison. Simeoni forced to throw it along the wall, leaving it off for Freiberger as he was pressured. Up for Orlowski. Orlowski will dump and chase. Hutchison bodied up by Gerling. Freiberger on the attack as well. Freiberger has it. Below the net. Back to the point for Lawrence. Lawrence throws it on net. That goes just wide. Orlowski below the net. Back at the point for Simeoni. Simeoni can't shoot. Puts it down the left side for Freiberger again. Freiberger down lower for Orlowski. Out for Gerling, looking in front, but he can't get a stick on it. Cleared up, and on the attack are the Bulldogs. But Miami gets it back on the attack. Trying to catch him on a change. Quick shot by Gerling. That was stopped and squeezed through the side of Herman's pads and out of harm's way. Thrown down the length of the ice. No icing as it bounced off Simeoni's stick. Played by Roach all the way out to the red line for Freiberger again. Freiberger tried to throw it in for Eric Miller to chase after, but that was gloved down by Desmadro. Vijuk on the attack. Vijuk, drop pass. Firing a shot on net. Good stop by Roach. McCormick sacrificing the body to make the play. Gets it out neutralized. Back down for McCormick. Cross to Lawrence. Lawrence was looking up ahead for Hartwell, but it goes on net, so no icing. 2:52 to go. Bulldogs have possession in their own zone. Down for Gray. Eric Miller puts it back in deep. Friel. Out for Cowan. Cowan puts it all the way on net, and Gangler coming in forces Herman to cover it up. 2:32 to go here in regulation. Miami still holding on to their 3-2 lead. They've had some good offensive pressure of late. Hopefully they can hold on to it for the remainder of regulation time. Orlando to take the face-off. Luke Miller and Gangler at wing. Bell and Cowan at D. Gets back to Cowan. He throws it back in. Bounces off the stick of Miller, though. So Miami's forced to touch up, delayed offside, and collected by the Bulldogs. Hildebrand below his own net, taken away by Gangler, but Hildebrand rides him into the boards. Loose puck taken by the captain of the Bulldogs. And Potts, and up the other way. Walney on the attack. Walney thrown down by Cowan. And taken back into Miami possession by Luke Miller. Miller, stretch pass up ahead for Gerling. Miami with numbers. Back for Berlando. Berlando trying to get one ahead for Miller, but that's defended well. And bounce off the stick for O'Bricky. O'Bricky with some room. O'Bricky trying to do a stutter step on Cowan unsuccessfully. And back into Miami possession. Up for up ahead for Gangler once more. Gangler shot on net, and that stopped and gloved down by Hermes once again. Minute 25. Timeout Bulldogs. So with a minute 25 to go. Still 3-2 in favor of the Redhawks. Now both sides will draw up a game plan. The most important thing that Miami should do right now and focus on is not letting up on the pressure. It's an offensive zone draw, and as long as they can hold that O-zone pressure, there's no risk at all of even going down a man because the Bulldogs won't have the chance to empty the net. So the important thing here is to apply pressure, dictate the pace of the game for this last 85 seconds. Or, even better, score a goal now and put the game away. With or without Herman in net. Herman very largely responsible, not entirely, but largely responsible for the Bulldogs still being in this game in the first place. But he has been fantastic. Multiple breakaway stops, multiple great stops on the power play, multiple odd man rush stops. You can't really ask for much more than what Herman's delivered. Started the game a little shaky, couldn't really hold on to a whole lot, but man, really starting in the second period is when he really found his stride, and he has yet to lose it again. Out for Miami, Douglas at center, Orlowski at left, Eric Miller at right, Simeoni and McCauley at D. Won by the Redhawks. Quick shot by Miller, stopped and gloved down by Herman. So only a couple seconds pass, 3 to be exact, as we'll reset for this face-off once again. Battle for the puck off the face-off. Bulldogs have it. Can they clear it? They can, but Simeoni will quickly throw that back in. Gloved down by the Bulldogs. Potts. Potts across to his partner. And that's Baldrica. And an empty net. Morris on the attack. Centering pass, they score it, bounced off a body. Disaster. A fluky play and a fluky goal. Morris was behind the net. He threw it in front. I don't know if it bounced off McCauley or if it bounced off Roach himself. But ladies and gentlemen, with 58 seconds to go in the game, in regulation, we have a tie game. And this also, unfortunately, means Miami has blown a 3-0 lead in a period. As the Redhawks will put their top line out, replacing Eric Miller with Burlando. 54 seconds to go in regulation. McCormick up the right side. McCormick shouted by Hildebrand. Out at the point for Cowan. Cowan down for Hartwell, firing a shot. That's stopped by Herman. Bell trying to hold the line, unable to do so. Burlando has to chase it down and neutralize, and out the other way come the Bulldogs. Vijek manages to hold the line. Out in front, loose puck knocked away by the Redhawks. Burlando gloves it down. Up ahead for McCormick. McCormick crosses the blue line, back ends it up ahead for Burlando. Burlando, centering pass. No one was home. In the skates of Burlando below the net. Potts. Potts will hold on. Final 5 seconds of regulation. Potts is going to eat it. Hartwell trying to get his stick loose. And that'll do it for period 3. So we will have overtime as Miami unable to hold on to that 3-0 lead in period 3. At the end of regulation, Redhawks 3, Bulldogs 3. So now we will have 5 minutes of 3-on-3 overtime. This is not something that the Redhawks are unfamiliar to. They've played in extra time multiple times this season. Their first one coming against Kentucky in Kentucky, where they won, as well as a shootout against Dayton, where they also won. Head coach Alex Delaney drawing up the play. We won't have any ice cuts, so sit tight, folks. We're going to get started here in just a second. No ice cut for extra time. Roach returns to his net, and it looks like the guys for the Redhawks will be Luke Miller, Drew Douglas, and Ryan Cowan. Bulldogs. Vijuk will be joined by Desmond Drill and Waldo, with Herman returning to his net. Interesting setup for this overtime. Interesting to note for the Bulldogs, all 3 members are forwards. Opening face-off. Desmond Drill got a stick on it, but it goes back on the stick of Cowan. Cowan below his own net. Drops it off for Douglas. Bounces off the side of the net, though, before Douglas could get a hold of it. Douglas resets. And the Redhawks up the other way. Luke Miller. Miller driving the right side, getting through his man. Back for Douglas. Aggressive pressure here by the Bulldogs, and now they bring it up the other way as a result. Cowan able to win the race to the puck, though, preventing a 2-on-1. Cowan still shouted by Vijuk. Vijuk running out of gas in the tank. Back up for Luke Miller. Miller! Backhand! What a save by Herman! Alexander Herman again playing hero for the Bulldogs. Both sides will make a change. Morris, Baldrika, and Potts out for the Bulldogs. For the Redhawks, Bell, McCauley, and McCormick. 3 dangerous shooters right there. McCormick wins the faceoff back to Bell. Bell across for McCauley. McCormick along the left side. He'll move back to the point. Bell looking to go towards the net. McCormick doesn't like what he sees, and he backs out of the zone. Pass for McCauley. McCauley with some room. Dragging, trying to fire it. And Potts will clear it and bring it up the other way. Potts up the left side, trying to center it out in front from Morris, unable to do so. McCormick now with Bell on a 2-on-1. McCormick up the right side. McCormick fires! Stopped by Herman! McCormick is snake bit tonight, and you can see the frustration. Dangerous shot, just not able to get one through. Now Hartwell, Burlando, and Cowan again. Hartwell to take the face off. Hartwell won it, but Cowan unable to get there in time, so it's out in neutral ice. Cowan collects. Pressured by Clark, so he backs off. Stretch pass up ahead for Hartwell. Hartwell does make it there in time. Across Burlando, a backhand, another stop by Hartwell. Miami bench wanted a call as the stick of Obricki was stuck in Burlando's left side, but nothing going. Face off won by the Red Hawks again. Back for Cowan at the point. Cowan retreats. All the way down. Won't be a nice as Hartwell beats it out. Back at the point again for Burlando. He backs off. Down for Cowan. Cowan turning along the boards. Faking a move. And getting a 3-on-2 for the Red Hawks. Cowan bringing it up. Drops it off for Hartwell. Hartwell puts it in net. And redirected in another glove save by Herman. You have to be kidding me. Is that Alexander Herman or Dominic Hasek in net down there? McCormick and Douglas back out with Bell. This time Douglas taking up the center spot. McCormick on wing. Douglas wins it out to his left for McCormick, who has to retreat outside of the zone. McCormick up ahead for Douglas. Douglas with speed. Douglas drags and fires. Stick knocked out of the hands of Herman as he made the save. So now the goalie's without a stick. Douglas trying to get it out in front for McCormick, and he can't get there in time. Defenseman gets the stick back for Herman. Herman resets. Bell brings it back in. Bell curling back at the point. Bell puts it back in for Douglas. Douglas around the right side, up to the point, cycles it down to McCormick, and they switch spots. McCormick back at the point. McCormick doesn't like what he sees, brings it back out once more. McCormick. Luke Miller in his own zone now. Up for Burlando, just come out, fresh off the bench. Now Bell, 2-on-1 developing for Miami. Bell trying to get it was Luke Miller. He couldn't get a hand on the puck. Potts takes it away. Minute 43 to go. Partial change for both teams. Potts waits for reinforcements. Waldo. Now the Bulldogs on the attack. Waldo up the left side. Trying to get it out to the front of the net. Around. Wraparound attempt. Stopped and held on by Roach. Minute 21 left. Back and forth and back and forth. Orlando will take the draw. Orlando wins that draw back for Cowan. Cowan back for Burlando. And then back out for Cowan on the breakout. Cowan up ahead for Hartwell. Hartwell can't do much with it, so brings it back to Cowan. Cowan forced to throw it back for Hartwell. And then across. Oh! Burlando trying to get a shot away. That was blocked, and Miami has to retreat again. There's Mandrell for Waldo. Trying to drop it back for his defenseman, Hutchison, but goes out into neutral ice. They're forced to reset. Morris with it now. Morris brings it in on the attack. Morris scores! Very, very disappointing end of the game for the Red Hawks. 3-0 lead blown in the third period. And the overtime winner goes to the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs, rightfully so, will celebrate. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Coulter Pfeiffer. Final score of tonight's game in overtime. Bulldogs 4, Red Hawks 3. This was our last home game of 2024. We will see you back in January of 2025. Everybody have a wonderful holiday season, a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you in the next game.